Join us on a tour of Powell Butte in Portland, a great place to watch the sunset and one of 4 volcanoes within the Portland city limits. We'll hike a 3.6-mile loop trail around the park and share the park highlights and its fascinating history. For example, you might be surprised to learn that Portland's water supply is stored under this park. Stay tuned to learn more. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Powell Butte is in Portland's southeast quadrant. Along with Mount Tabor, Kelly Butte, and Rocky Butte, it's an extinct cinder cone volcano that's part of the fantastically named Boring Lava Field. From the parking lot, it's a short walk to an outdoor visitor center with exhibits. The exhibits explain Powell Butte's role in the Portland water supply. I'll share the story while we do the hike. We filmed this in August, so we also found this amazing piano next to the exhibits. Since it doesn't rain here in the summers, a nonprofit places pianos around the city in public spaces for people to enjoy. I'll include the link to their website in the video description in case you're curious to learn more. So let's get started on the hike. I'd recommend hiking at Powell Butte a little before sunset to catch the great lighting. Since it's in the city, it's a great option for an after-work hike. We're hiking the Orchard and Cedar Grove Loop Trail, a 3.6-mile loop. I like this loop because it travels through both of Powell Butte's key terrain types, grassland and forest. From the grasslands, there are sweeping views, and you can see the surrounding mountain peaks. So far, we've noticed that we can see views of Mount St. Helens, Mount Hood, and just a tiny chunk of the top of Mount Adams. There's even a circular peak finder that labels each peak, including the many smaller ones. The hike begins in the grasslands, and then it enters the forest, and then it returns to the grasslands at the end. There are great sunset views from both grassland sections. We hiked this on 2 separate days and watched the sunset from a different section each day. You'll see footage from both days in this video. So now for Powell Butte's fascinating history. The land was used as a cattle farm in the 1800s. The city bought it in 1925 so they could use it for the city's water reservoirs in the future. The reservoirs are underground, so they're not usually visible. When we visited, some maintenance work was underway so we could see the outline of one of the reservoirs. Portland gets its water from rain and snow melt from Bull Run, which is a 102 square mile watershed in a temperate rainforest about 30 miles east of the city. As a backup, the city can also pump groundwater if needed. Since Powell Butte is lower in elevation than Bull Run and higher in elevation than the city itself, gravity can move the water through its route instead of water pumps. This makes the Portland water system much more energy efficient. The city still allowed cattle grazing at Powell Butte all the way up until 1989. In 1990, it officially became a nature park. You'll notice that this forested section looks quite different from the grasslands we were at in the beginning. It's great to have a park that showcases both environments. Here the trail emerges again from the trees for another grassland stretch. This section is another great option for views, and there's a bench to sit and appreciate the sunset. Thanks for joining us at Powell Butte. See you next time.